game is brought to you in HD TV by HP. And the officials for game one, Carl Hess, Curtis Shaw, and J.D. Collins. And the Final Four is underway.
Let's see the matchups early in this game. Anderson on Collison.
Collison still weaving out high. Now over to Ship.
Anderson with those long arms and has size differential about any guard that he plays against. That's what makes him so effective.
Westbrook with Rose on him. Dishes down low. Mute reverses. And the Bruins work it around brilliantly and get the easy bucket.
Jim, one of the things about Westbrook, when Collison got injured, Westbrook had to become the point guard. It's made him so much more versatile, as he showed on that play. Now in the other end, to match up more than what I expected. Ship on Anderson.
Spin move, Rose, and the freshman. Short off the front of the rim. Dorsey just throws it up wildly, and the Bruins, Mute comes out with it.
Collison is quick, but he's going to have a hard time with that power move that Rose has going to the basket using that upper body strength.
Do you think we'll see Collison on Rose all night, or will Westbrook some?
I think Westbrook will have to move over to him.
Now it's Westbrook and Rose at this end. Here's Ship, stutter step move through traffic, and he's going to bring it back out. Mute takes the jumper, and it's over the top of the backboard. It'll belong to Memphis. The Tigers had led for 79 consecutive tournament minutes before that opening basket by UCLA, as they gave up an opening hoop to Michigan State. Then steamrolled the Spartans, had a 50-20 lead on them at halftime.
Here you see that Collison-Rose matchup. Westbrook, he can look anybody in the eye. Although he's 6'3", and Douglas Roberts about 6'5.5", Westbrook can play tall.
Dozier is going to drive on Mute. Short with the bank shot. Love has the rebound.
Boy, he takes up space, doesn't he?
Averaging a double-double on the season. The Pac-10 Player of the Year, the freshman Kevin Love, who really hasn't touched it down at this end.
He's outside. He'll take the jump shot from there if it gets out his way.
Mute did not have a clean handle. Collison scrapes it off the floor. It was right on the sideline, but not out. And Ship hits a three.
Jimmy, that's a huge shot right there. The young man has really been struggling. And believe me, if he can make that shot, I don't know if anybody can beat UCLA in the Final Four. I think he's that critical from the perimeter.
First 5 of the night go to the Bruins. Now it's Douglas Roberts, the All-America. Jumper, yes.
Decide to pull up and shoot over Westbrook using that height advantage. Nothing is touched with Love on the inside with Dorsey playing him. Let's see how long it takes to getting the ball down inside. Shaky pass.
Dorsey went for the steal. Love tries to force the pass. Rose was the one who tipped it away to cause the steal. Now it's Douglas Roberts. Puts it on the hip. Puts it up with the left hand, up and in.
That was some maneuver, wasn't it, Jim?
Wow, the way he scores is so unconventional, his shot.
Well, he is just a tremendous slasher. He showed he can pull up and take the jumper, but his real advantage on people is because of his size, put the ball on the floor and slash by.
Now they work it to Love on the blocks. Dorsey behind him. Takes his first shot. The freshman hits the soft hook.
Dorsey, one of the few guys in college basketball that can body up with Kevin Love and not be beaten.
Rose banks it home, and he spins his way free. Trying to get him on transition. Douglas Roberts.
Never should have passed that ball back.
Back to Ship. Not this time with his jumper. Westbrook in the corner, still has it for UCLA.
Got that over Dorsey.
Ship hits his second three here in the first 3.5 minutes.
What I love about that is when a guy is in a slump and he's not wanting to take his shot, he very seldom is in any kind of a balance or rhythm to make him. Ship has come right out at the veteran that he is, looking to take jump shots.
His confidence has been so low here for over a month, but what a start here at the Final Four. Now Douglas Roberts again driving, and that's going to be a foul against Westbrook. Westbrook made the save, and Ship was able to fire it up for a second time on that possession.
And Jim, you notice he didn't hesitate at all. Squared right up with his shot. We know he's a good scorer. He has been just in a horrendous slump starting in February. Had a little bit of a whiplash yesterday in practice, as we had Ben Holland told us yesterday, but it looks like he's in good shape now.
Douglas Roberts, CDR they call him. He's the number 9 all-time scorer in Memphis history. Keith Lee is the all-time scorer for the Tigers. He was the one who took them to the '85 Final Four the last time they made it here. As you see,
Taggart in, Dozier out.
Taggart is such a valuable sixth man, 6'10" sophomore out of Richmond, Virginia.
And Jim, so much has been said about this Memphis free throw shooting, but they have shot from the free throw line extremely well in postseason play, but they were 12th in their league. Only shot 60% on the year.
And Rose a little too close. Draws the whistle.
One of the few times that you'll find Rose going up against a similar athlete. There's no question that he made the bump on Westbrook. Cheap foul, one you don't want from one of your leading players.
Trying to beat him down the floor in the transition, aren't they, Billy? They had the long pass that was almost picked, and that time they were racing down the floor and drew the foul.
That's what's interesting about the way Ben Allen coaches. They'll take advantage of the break when it's there.
Love
nice
got
pump fake.
Dorsey to the floor, comes into the paint, back of the rim, no. Dorsey points ahead and says, take off. Anderson hears the call.
I love the way that Memphis is pushing this ball up the floor to try to make this more of an 80-point ball game.
Antonio Anderson delivers the three.
Good strategy on their part. They don't want to play half court at a time with UCLA.
Tigers have the lead now at 11-10. Back with Westbrook. Short jumper, yes. Bruins now by one.
Now, I wonder if we're going to see a change. Anderson going over there. Let Rose go ahead on Ship. I think that'd be a better matchup for Memphis. And here's that driving ability, even against a defender, Pac-10 defender of the year like Westbrook. Goes right by him.
Westbrook already with one foul, really didn't challenge him. And Rose drove right past him.
Well, Westbrook is going to have to move those feet because Rose will continually do that. He can push the ball up the floor as well as anybody, and with his strength can finish.
Love goes under the cylinder. No call, blocked by Dorsey.
And here comes the push.
Going center. It's Douglas Roberts laying it in.
And you can see right now that this is becoming a Memphis-style basketball game. They are pushing the ball up the floor and beating UCLA to the punch.
This is not the kind of game they played 2 years ago in the Elite Eight out in Oakland.
Jim, they missed 14 straight three-point shots in that game.
Collison puts up the soft shot.
They go.
Up ahead, Anderson. Ship's going to challenge. No. Anderson dunks it down with force. And a timeout, UCLA. Bruins had scored the first 5, but now they're down 5 at the first break. Memphis shooting 70%. UCLA with the most championships of all time and back for a third consecutive time in the Final Four.
Jim, it's kind of interesting, UCLA with John Wooden. It was 15 years before he won his first title, and once he did, he went 44-3 in the NCAA tournament, 18 straight Final Four wins, 38 straight NCAA tournament wins for the Wizard of Westwood, the greatest coaching championships in the history of college basketball.
Hard to believe it took until year 16 before he won his first championship. Underneath, Keith, who's come in, draws the foul on Taggart as Love lobbed it over the top of that defense. We have another break in the action. Memphis has hit its last 7 shots. A lot of them close range, even dunks. Lead by 5. Jim Nance with Billy Packer here at the Final Four. And again, all the ones are here. UCLA, the most Final Fours. North Carolina, 2nd all-time. Kansas, 4th. And this is the 3rd, March the 3rd Final Four appearance. We're very proud Memphis program as well. 1973 when they met UCLA in the championship game, and again in 1985.
Jim, you know, another thing that's interesting when you talk about the quality of the 4 teams here. First time ever, as everybody knows, 4 #1 seeds get to the Final Four, but all 4 teams had 30-win seasons. So you talk about the quality from November right on through to Selection Sunday. So these clubs have proved to be very worthy. Keith comes into the ball game, and you know, this is kind of interesting. The young man did not have much of a year, and then Western Kentucky, 18 points, 12 rebounds to give a big lift to UCLA.
That was in the Sweet 16. He hits both free throws. That last foul, by the way, was charged to Joey Dorsey, not Taggart.
Going inside, nice double down by Keith.
Here's Taggart with a 3, and look at the big man shoot.
Jim, Taggart really was out of position on that play. He should have been, as soon as he saw the release by Keith, he should have broken to the basket and had a layup, but instead he stands out there and buries the 3. Everything working for Memphis right now.
Taggart, who had a hot hand in Houston last week, gave him some big minutes off the bench, as he so often has this season.
Another reason he probably should have been inside. He was 0 for 5 for 3 part of that shot, so it's his first 3 of the year.
Collison works it. Love left alone.
Dorsey hung too long with the guard. Should have gone back in and followed up Love. You're worrying about a guard taking a jump shot as opposed to Love getting an easy shot inside.
Now Rose back out. Taggart, same spot, short this time. Powelson snags it out of the air.
Not a high percentage play for Memphis when they're playing so well.
Again, bounce pass inside. UCLA inbound underneath after the kick. Bob Mute comes back in. Near the end of this game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy and American Revolution. Here's Westbrook with a three. Hits it. And it's a 1-point lead for Memphis. And the Tigers are brought in for the first time. Willie Kemp, #1, handling the ball right now.
Nice step back. Kemp not ready to defend on that particular play. Taggart was taken out by John Calipari. He didn't like that shot selection either.
Douglas Roberts.
So far, there's been no answer for the swirling dervish wingman.
Billy, you were there on Thursday night at the opening ceremony, the NCAA salute, and John Calipari called Douglas Roberts buckets because he doesn't do it always the most conventional way, as Westbrook now backs up his three with a driving basket. He just knows how Douglas Roberts to make baskets. Buckets.
Kemp taking a school on 2 plays defensively. Westbrook really took advantage of him.
Here he is again.
Tough shot.
That was a wild throw at the basket. Almost stolen away by Anderson. Westbrook. What a rebound by Dorsey. Maybe got away with over the back.
He took a chance going over that back.
Kemp waits for everything to settle. Misses on the three. And there's over the back on Dozier.
He didn't realize how strong Love was. He hit Love, and Love never moved.
A lot of energy in this building. Great pace early. Love and the Bruins are just 1 down. A high-octane start to the first semifinal. Memphis with 6 fast break points, and Billy, the field goal percentages are way up.
Way up for these defensive clubs.
How about Douglas Roberts in his start?
Well, such a tough matchup. You can see he uses his size to go ahead and shoot over the top. Then he uses his ability to penetrate, go right or left hand to the basket. He had a tough shot that he took, and other than that, he's had a flawless first half. Jimmy had 6 points and 6 rebounds as a non-starter in that game against UCLA where they lost in the regionals.
So he gets a little breather. 10 points for him. Lorenzo Mata-Real has come in for UCLA, number 14. Great experienced player for them. Was started in Final 4 games.
You see where Dorsey plays him, though. He's not going to go out there because he knows he's not going to take any kind of outside shot. Real is going to be a screener in this offense.
Bamute. Baseline shot over everything.
This club on the floor right now for UCLA lacks some scoring. An opportunity here for Memphis to get a little bit of a margin.
Memphis has brought in number 20, Donnell Mack, who can fire it up from 3. Tops on the team this year, 3-pointers made. It's Dozier pulling up with a jumper.
Nobody inside for rebounding, and there's the ball. Touches keep on the hands. Nobody inside for offensive rebounds.
You can watch exclusive video of Amen Corner Live, plus 15 and 16 live action from those 2 magnificent holes, and bonus coverage of the entire field with Masters Extra at cbssports.com/masterslive and masters.org. Here's Rose.
Shoots right over the top of Collison. Collison hasn't had to face this kind of power point guard, and he is playing over the top of him right now.
Rose has 6. And the Tigers are up by 3.
Ben Holland had to put some of his starters down. Jim, the pace of this game is much faster than what UCLA would like to play.
Taggart now on a switch is on Collison. Over the screen. Collison had a good look, but Taggart pulls it down. Here comes Memphis up ahead quickly. Anderson with a 3. Rose comes in again with that strength.
He didn't realize he was open, Jim, when he got that rebound. He was looking for some body contact.
Keefe holds on to the rebound this time. Back come the Bruins.
Nice screen by Keefe. Collison couldn't turn the corner. So even if you beat a guy like Anderson, Jim, you're a small guard, he's got the length to stop your jump shot.
Bamute over the Keefe screen. This is the short shot. On the floor, the reach-in is going to be called against Keefe of UCLA.
The bench is much more productive, isn't it, from Memphis? It's kind of obvious. They bring guys on the floor that can shoot and rebound.
Kevin Love is coming back in, but you talk about that Memphis bench, Billy. They are going to be without now. Here at the Final Four, Andre Allen, the senior who was suspended from the team a couple of days ago for violating a team policy. And that was a blow to this team because he's an important backup at point guard.
Now here's the matchup I thought. It's Westbrook on Rose right now. He's got good size on him and loves to sit down. A tremendous defender.
Rose over Westbrook.
Nice block out by Love on Dorsey.
Now it's Westbrook.
Setting some great screens outside for their guards.
Great action by Westbrook. He was patient, and he knocks it home. Gives him 9 now on the game.
Jim, what's happening to the Memphis players? They're going behind those solid screens, and the UCLA guards are just turning the corner and going inside. Good recognition by UCLA.
Anderson. Love tips it right back to him. Here's Mack. He can fire the 3. Down and out. Pulled down by Bob Moute.
Moute, Keith, and Love now are starting to make their presence felt on the rebounds. Memphis not doing a good job on the offensive glass. Here comes the screen again, this time by Love.
This for the lead right back. Again, Long with the shot. Keith tips, no, out to Mack. Quick release to Rose. Gets past with a nifty dribble and lays it in.
And you know, he dribbled right by Westbrook. Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year.
Ship guns it from outside. Quick shot.
Got to question that shot because you don't want to make this pace too quick if you're UCLA.
Anderson with a 3. Well, that was wild, and it got past everyone. Bounces right through the lane, back out high. Here's Mack floating through. Tipped up Dorsey. And cleared by Love.
Well, the frenetic pace is what Memphis wants, but they've got to have much better shot selection than that.
Ben Howland was screaming for a timeout. Bruins to the bench. Down 3. UCLA and Memphis, 8 minutes to go. First half with Kansas and North Carolina on the floor after this one. That was a timeout called by UCLA with a second to go before a television timeout on the next whistle.
That's 2 so far that UCLA has used that might not have been necessary. Jim, the pace of this game is very frenetic. It's really in favor of the way that Memphis would like to play. So Coach Holland, he decided to go ahead and start resting his players early. And of all the people, and maybe, and I won't call it a weakness, but Love is not a guy that wants to play in a fast-paced ball game.
Love asking for it down low.
How about those hands?
Taggart behind. Here comes the double up. And the ball's knocked out.
And goes to the right man here.
Over to Dozier.
Jim, Rose is developing not only into a guy that can score, but he can make plays. He's got tremendous ability to cover the floor offensively. That was a perfect pass on the break. I didn't even realize he saw the trailing man filling the lane.
Cover the floor and see the floor.
Yep.
Now they got the timeout. The under 8 timeout as Memphis leads it by 5.
Jim, watch the eye of the tiger. This outstanding freshman guard, Derrick Rose. UCLA actually had better defensive balance than did Memphis. Rose, in effect, created a fast break all by himself. Terrific court awareness.
8 points for Rose, a couple of assists, no turnovers, and a steal. Now, that last whistle was an inadvertent whistle, and the inbounds pass goes right off the toe of Russell Westbrook. It'll now go back to the Tigers. Just a couple of absent-minded turnovers. Keith dropping a rebound with no one around him. That ball just inbounding, going right off the foot of Westbrook.
And that was by 2 very experienced guards. Very sloppy play. Here comes the screen on Collison. Nice step out by Love.
And a steal. It's Westbrook. Rose defending. What a block by Douglas Roberts. Collison.
They wanted a 5 5-second or a walk, and they got the walk. Nice refereeing by John Calipari, and here you see the length of Memphis. Rose goes up. Douglas Roberts completes the play.
Comes right on the heels of the steal or turnover, which was the first turnover of the game committed by Memphis. Took them over 13 minutes.
And it did not come from the guard play, Jim. I watched Love step out on these screens. That was a pick and roll.
Taggart puts up the shot with the left hand, and Dorsey maintains possession for Memphis. Dorsey with 6 rebounds. Here's Kemp. Stuck? No. Finds Taggart. Over Love. Follow up Dorsey. No.
Dorsey's got to make that play. Love did a good job handling both big men on the play inside. He's got such a wide body and used it well.
UCLA with all of its starters back on the floor. Memphis with 2 subs, Kemp and Taggart.
It was a back screen that time for Westbrook. It didn't quite work out. He was looking for the lob on it.
Now the switch. Dorsey goes back over, finds his man.
And it was a good idea because Love was ready to post up down low.
5 on the shot clock, Collison. Back to the rim, no. And it's Dorsey.
Normally UCLA eliminates those second chance points.
Follow up Taggart.
Love was laying down on the other end of the floor, never got down court.
Memphis has its largest lead of the night at 7.
Jim, fast break points. UCLA this year, 498, opponents 185. This game completely opposite.
Now it's Love.
Nice steal.
No steal, it's a foul instead.
Eliminated 2 points the easy way.
Well, Douglas Roberts wants to follow up Taggart. I'd say there was one beautiful move by Rose.
But just to get the shot off, to be quite honest, it was almost an assist by making a shot selection that was almost impossible.
Just after he'd gone behind the back. So now Love will go to the line for 2 shots. The most outstanding player of the West Regional, the Pac-10 Player of the Year.
That's Western Kentucky in this NCAA tournament. 29 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks. He just has a total game for a man this young that plays in the low post.
Antonio Anderson in for Rosen. What about the shuttling and the rotation of the guards for Memphis? I mentioned Andre Allen was suspended and left back home in Memphis. What will that do for Coach Calipari?
I still think he is the deeper of the 2 teams, Jim, coming in with quality players, particularly on the defensive end of the floor.
Monterreal comes back in, so does Keefe. So Love will sit. Bob Mute to the bench.
But you're bringing in 2 players that have limited offensive skills and taking 2 players out that have great experience and quite a bit of skill. See, as an example, Taggart out, Dozier in. That's really, I realize Dozier's the better of those 2, but
now it's going to be Dorsey
instead. So that's a nice threesome that John Calipari is rotating.
Memphis has gone 8 deep in this game. 5:23 to go in the first half.
Kemp back here with Collison, advantage Collison. Rose on the bench. Anderson wants a little bit of ship here.
Feeds it to Taggart over Monterreal.
Oh, the Iowa State grad has come on strong, hasn't he, Jim?
He transferred after Coach Morgan left the program there at Iowa State.
Against Texas last week, 5 for 7, 12 points, 3 rebounds. Not much of a fall off when he comes in the game, particularly in the offensive end.
He's got 7 points in this first half.
2 men on 1, somebody's open. It's Real.
Now it's Ship.
Kind of slippery on that floor right there on that end.
Keefe tries to kick it out. Traveling call against the Bruins. Should Americans be worried about Chinese billions bailing out Wall Street? Plus, did you know American astronauts are going back to the moon as tomorrow on 60 Minutes?
Jim, if I were Ben Holland, I'd ask for that floor to be swept down a little bit on his offensive end because guys are slipping quite frequently. But Taggart getting good setup on the inside. Anderson wanting a screen.
Anderson short with the shot. Monterreal with a good aggressive rebound.
Anderson's had some pretty good looks at the basket. That shot should have been made.
Spin move, Westbrook rolls it in. This kid has come on so big time his sophomore year.
There's no question that was a big move for UCLA because they don't have a lot of scoring on the floor right now.
That's just knocked out, no foul. Last touched by UCLA. So Memphis will have it coming up out of the break. Tigers with the 5-point lead. One of the stories in this game, Kevin Love, the decorated freshman for the Bruins, has been somewhat neutralized. 6 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of turnovers. He's not taking a shot, Billy, in the last 8 minutes.
Jim, the reason for that is this game is being played from top of the key to the top of the key. There is so much movement by Memphis to get the ball moving down the court quickly. Kevin Love likes to play in the half-court situation. His game has basically not been played that way. Oh, nice step under.
And Collison collides with Rose.
I don't think they can afford to have Collison on Rose. He's just too big and strong for him.
It's the first foul on Collison. Coming up, AT&T at the half with Greg and Clark, Seth, and Florida head coach Billy Donovan. They'll break down the first half, plus the awarding of the player and coach of the year, and an AT&T Naismith Watch update coming up on AT&T at the half. So Rose to shoot a couple.
Jim, we saw this young man last weekend. 27 against Michigan State, 21 against Texas, 6 rebounds, 9 assists in that ball game. Just a floor generalship was just outstanding. You think of him as a power scorer, but he has developed into a terrific point guard leader.
And he was the most outstanding player of his regional, like Love was out west.
Anderson on Collison, using that size. Collison ought to try to put the ball on the floor and beat him off the dribble, get something started inside for Love. Here's Collison with the ball.
Ball tipped, and the Bruins fortunate back into the hands of Collison. 5 on the shot clock.
That's what Collison needs to keep that dribble alive.
Mbamute with 1 second on the shot clock is fouled. They said it was impossible for 4 #1 seeds to make it the Final Four. Then again, they said it was impossible to get real Coke taste and 0 calories. Log on to mycokerewards.com and get lots of great NCAA gear. That's the second foul, Billy, on Dorsey here with 3:12 to go in the half.
Yeah, he'll have to sit down, but again, Taggart's going to come in, and he has played extremely well.
Mbamute from Cameroon. His parents are here tonight. The first time they've ever seen their son play a basketball game over here in the States.
Jim, remember his freshman year, he talked about sending them a DVD of the Final Four, and his parents said that looked like that was a big event. And if we didn't know that was that big, we would have come. And so this year, fortunately, they have come to see him play for the very first time.
He's the first Bruin to start in 3 Final Fours consecutively since Bill Walton, Keith Wilkes, Greg Lee.
3 pretty fair players.
Yeah, and the first player from any program since Andre Hudson and Charlie Bell of Michigan State back in '01. Can't leave him open.
Nope.
Douglas Roberts knocks down a 3.
And Jim, when you mention those 3 players, you have to think of UCLA Memphis because Keith Lee had 14. Lee had 14 assists in that ball game. Walton was the famous 21 of 22 from the field.
Well, that spins out on Westbrook. Underneath, Memphis comes out with it again. It's CDR.
There goes Anderson.
Trying to take middle, but Collison shut off the angle.
Collison has blazing speed. His parents both sprinters. He got back and stymied what could have been an easy layup.
Billy, do you sense it's a dangerous time right here with 2.5 to go for the Bruins? Oh, Collison tries to make the steal. Comes up with it with a quick hands, but stepped out.
That was a tough break for UCLA. And I tell you why, Jim. As Dozier wants to put the ball and challenge the guy like Collison. That's a mistake. Get that ball back in Rose's hands because he's been able to keep Collison at bay.
They're going to bring in, on the Memphis side, Pierre Niles, the 6'8 sophomore, homegrown talent from Memphis. Collison in this game, Billy, 0 for 3 from the field. Collison, who averages 15 a game.
Well, I think he needs to keep his dribble more alive when he gets those double teams by the Memphis big people because that'll get the ball to Love.
Do you sense it's a dangerous time or not?
Not yet. Not yet. I think that UCLA is an experienced club. You've got Love back in the ball game, and he's fresh. They got to get him the ball some on offense.
Memphis has had some big closes to first halves this year. Here's Douglas Roberts swatted away by Love.
Not a great shot blocker, but if he can be waiting on you, it'll work.
Shipp with the left hand, and it's a foul call on Memphis. It's on Taggart, his first.
Jim, you see Love with that block very close to on the way down. Now, in the first 23 games this year, he only had 17 blocks. And since that time, in the last 14 games, he's had 30 blocks, so getting much more accustomed to his low post defensive job. That one was very close to being on the way down, particularly in the fact that Douglas Roberts gets way up when he releases the ball on those penetrating moves.
Dozier coming back on the floor for Memphis. Niles back to the bench. Shipp, who hit those three-pointers early in this game, wide of the mark with his first free throw. Now one more.
Now he's down to 32% from three, but still a pretty good free throw shooter at 78%.
Looked uncomfortable though with those two. Love comes out high now, goes back down into the paint. Close in on Taggart. Takes the jumper over.
Very little offensive rebounding threats for Memphis. Their guards are getting back to stop the break. Nobody penetrating inside. They could get some offensive rebounds.
That's a foul on Taggart, so he picks up two quickly. Two on him, two on Dorsey. It'll be a 1-and-1.
Well, with 1:25 to go, you might have to put both of them down.
Here's Derrick Rose, Billy, again starring.
Flawless first half by this young man. That was that brilliant move by Westbrook.
Conference USA Freshman of the Year, first team All Conference USA. Most assists by a freshman in Memphis history. He's got 9 points, 2 assists. His Love will be rewarded with one more.
And Jim, in that game in 06, in which UCLA scored 50 points, they were 20 for 39 from the foul line. Just think of that, in 20 of your 50 points from the foul line and almost shooting only 50%. So you don't win many games like that.
Rose getting away from Collison, now over Love. Oh, wow. Pass Collison, over Love.
I think that Love felt that he was going to make a pass on that, not put that ball over him. He never left the floor.
Back to a 7-point margin. Down low, Love waits. Follow up, yes.
One of the best in college basketball at second chance points. You're talking about Rose putting on a show right here against one of the quickest defensive guards in the country.
Well, there's a tip and an offensive rebound. And there's a 7-second differential and a timeout called by Memphis. And Rose is complaining that he was hit on the arm on that jumper. But what a first half for the young man from Chicago. Jim Nantz with Billy Packer here in San Antonio, and coming up, Kansas and North Carolina. Jayhawks have won 11 consecutive. North Carolina's won its last 15. They will meet for the 4th time in history in the NCAA tournament. Of course, that famous 1957 triple overtime championship game won by Carolina. Wilt Chamberlain, the outstanding player on the losing side.
Yep, an undefeated North Carolina team coached by Frank McGuire. Played 2 games in the Final Four, both triple overtimes, beating Michigan State in the semis.
Taggart regains the handle, now gives it up. Douglas Roberts for Westbrook. And the Bruins tip it around and keep it. Nope. On the floor, Dozier. Pass deflected, and Love says, I will take it.
Not a good idea considering the fact he could have held it for the last shot. Not a good play by Anderson.
Collison left alone, and he has a field goal for the first time tonight.
That was a foolish play.
Douglas Roberts has time to launch it. This will count if it's good. Good first half here, Billy. Very good, and a nice job by UCLA to stay in there. Douglas Roberts with 13, leading all scorers, and we'll be sending it back to New York. Back to Greg Gumbel when we continue on CBS.
Right. Only one time Texas A&M down 29-26. They eventually went down by as much as 10, came back to win that one.
UCLA team that late in the year had some remarkable comebacks from double digits. And that was one of them. Here's Douglas Roberts, and a reach-in call is going to go against Westbrook. and that's his second.
There's Westbrook, though. Even with a post up by Chris Douglas-Roberts, Westbrook doing a pretty good job. He got no help. There was no double down in there, so he had him all by himself.
Memphis was blazing early in this game from the floor, but missed 20 of his last 27. And that's going the other way.
And give Love great credit there. Much as we'll see Tyler Hansbrough do in the next game, instead of trying to block the shot, he played for position defense. Terrific job by the freshman.
And that's now 2 on Douglas-Roberts. So some issues here. Another Tiger picks up a third. Dorsey or Douglas-Roberts. Taggart's on the bench with 2.
That was good judgment on Love's part, and he and Dorsey are really banging inside. Dorsey does a good job keeping him off the boards.
Mute had UCLA's first basket, but misses his last 5 shots, and this will send Rose to the line for 2. Rose has that look, doesn't he, Billy, like he thinks he can take him every single time.
Well, what I like, Jim, is that he plays under control, but yet he plays with speed and power. Collison, who is a tremendous defender, as we know, really can't handle the size and the upper body strength of Rose when he takes him inside.
It's now 2 on Collison.
I don't like that matchup at all, to be quite honest with you. I think that Ship should go over and guard Chris Douglas-Roberts and get Westbrook on Rose. Rose has got the ball in his hand so much more than anybody else does on the team, and I think Westbrook's the best matchup.
Rose hits them both. That's 13 on the night.
And here on the other end, you have a guy like Anderson who's so big.
Oh, there's the third on Dorsey, pushing off from behind.
And John Calipari asking Dorsey to fight his way over the top, but Love does such a terrific job positioning. Now look at him spread out, get good position in there, and as strong as Dorsey is, he still can't get over the top.
He has to go out, and Taggart with 2 fouls comes in.
See how much more effective UCLA is when they can play half court at a time.
Oh, look at this. This is on Taggart. Just like
Boom,
that,
boom.
the 2 big guys from Memphis. Not even a
5 seconds.
Well, didn't even start the clock. They never inbounded the ball. So
well, there's Love's upper body strength, clearing things out.
So 3 on Taggart now.
I'm surprised UCLA hasn't tried to go to him more down inside.
They're going to try to get it over here to Love and pick up a 4th on Taggart. Westbrook, that got away from him.
There's that length again.
Rose hands it off. Douglas-Roberts.
You are not going to finish any better than Memphis does on the college level. Whether Chris Douglas-Roberts, Dozier was on the other side, Anderson can as well.
Timeout UCLA. 4 points right out of the half for the Tigers. Thursday on CBS, new rivals emerge on an all-new Survivor at 8, 7 Central on CBS. Foul situation for Memphis. Taggart and Dorsey picking up their 3rd. Westbrook has a couple. Collison 2 for UCLA.
Jim, all the more reason for UCLA to say, okay, this is Love's game for the next 4 or 5 minutes. Pound the ball to him inside. Wait till he gets open. Use some clock up. A little full court pressure here by Memphis.
Bruins break it by getting it ahead to Love.
And they use Dozier on Love right now. Dozier's got size, but he doesn't have the strength to handle him.
Love, he can shoot the 3. And that rattles out. Rose crashing in for the rebound. Again taken off. Ball got away from him.
Good hands by Taggart.
Dozier. Flip shot, back of the rim, drops.
There's that length again. Great hit-ahead pass.
Westbrook. Gets the layup. That's 2 flying Tigers.
There has not been a college basketball player of size that can throw the outlet pass like Love can. He looks for it all the time. Good breakout. There we have the size differential again, Jim.
Douglas-Roberts on Collison.
Just too much length.
And again, the soft roll. 17 now for Douglas-Roberts.
I don't understand that matchup.
Largest lead of the game now for Memphis.
Love outside. You want him in the low post.
Ship, who hit 2 shots early. Not this time. Mute off his fingertips. Get exclusive insight into college basketball's biggest night of the year. The National Championship pregame show presented by Sheridan. It's Monday night on the new CBS College Sports Network. So now Memphis looking for a double-digit lead.
this is a better matchup for UCLA. Shipp at least has some size.
Lob underneath. Love is able to force the steal into the arms of Keith.
Much better matchup.
Collison lost the dribble. Dozier flips it ahead. Westbrook, though, with a nifty move to steal it back. It's going to be on Dozier.
Pretty nice job by Keith to hold his position inside. And how about the anticipation by Westbrook? You know, that's a talent in itself. Everybody talks about physical abilities, but when a guy has great anticipating skills, as Westbrook does, he saved an easy basket there.
We had only 10 fouls called between the two teams in the whole first half. Already 6 whistles the first 3 minutes of the second half. There's the second on Dozier.
Collison with a great crossover dribble.
Left hand, no. Love comes in. Rose has it.
No numbers, though, and he takes it himself.
Goes against Shipp.
Jim, one of the things that we saw last weekend is this Memphis is, as a team and individually, incredible ability to finish because of their length and their ability from a standpoint of just being bigger than other people. Think about it. Abrams, Augustine, and Mason for Texas. They were 13 for 42. Just too small to play against this threesome on the floor for Memphis. Neitzel, Lucas, and Walton for Michigan State had the same kind of problems. They never could get good looks. And these guys were able to just finish every time they got on the break.
Boye comes in for the first time for UCLA. Mbamute returns. One more for Rose. And one thing about Rose all season long, he was just terrific as a freshman. But now you get to the tournament, it's like he's decided, you know what, I can take this over now.
Yeah, and I think John Calipari's done a great job with him, breaking him in now to the point that he is the ball-handling guard that controls the game. I just love his attitude and his knowledge of the game.
This marks the largest deficit of the entire NCAA tournament for UCLA.
Still not getting the ball to Love down in low.
Westbrook. And that one was touched, but still goes in.
You think he could wear a uniform, a white uniform, and just fit right in with Memphis the way he plays?
He's having a big night.
Yes, he's got that long ability to finish.
15 for Westbrook. And a UCLA team that hasn't panicked all season when it's faced a double-digit deficit in the second half, and particularly even late in the year. 6 double-digit comeback wins. Douglas Roberts off balance.
Nice job by Arroyo, and he's off and running.
Love, what a pass. Mbamute can't finish. Dozier defending. Second try, no. It's Love. Taggart can't stop him.
There's where UCLA is so effective in this game and can take it away from Memphis if they can start playing down in the low paint with the ball.
Rose wants it again, gives it up to Taggart. Fakes the 3, and they called for a 3-second violation.
John Calipari going to bring Dorsey back in the ballgame with 3 fouls.
Break in the action, just under 15 minutes to play. Memphis, 48-41. Up to an 11-point lead. It's now 7. Ball belongs to UCLA. How about this backcourt play for Memphis?
Well, Rose has been sensational in this ball game. There's the dish and there's the finish. Too much length for the inside play for Collison to be able to stay with Douglas Roberts. Dorsey back in the game, Jim. Jim, you know, we talk about the history of this Final Four. The legendary Adolph Rupp won 30 games 3 straight years. You know the 2 coaches sitting on the sidelines right now?
Yeah, the only other 2.
Only other 2 guys ever to do that. Just think of all the great coaches that have gone down through the years. And since Adolph Rupp, the 2 guys sitting on the sidelines first to do it.
Westbrook denied, and up ahead alone is Anderson.
There's a poor balance by UCLA. Collison should have been back. Westbrook trying to take things over offensively, Jim, and still not getting the ball to Love. I think that they ought to have the ball in Love's hands every time down the floor.
Love with the outside shot. Front miss 2 from that same spot. Flying through is Collison, make the steal, and the arrow belongs to the Bruins.
Great hustle by Collison going on that floor. The young man's had his problems tonight. There's that long pass because there was no defensive balance. When Westbrook went inside on the drive, Collison's got to circle back out, take away that long pass.
Mack coming in for Memphis. Coach Calipari told me yesterday morning that he could be the difference. He's going to need to step up with the absence now of Andre Allen. UCLA shooting just 30% here in the second half. Collison again just held to that one basket before the intermission.
There's that great crossover dribble. You should keep that ball alive on the dribble.
Mute. Back up, yes. That's first field goal since the opening basket of the game.
Jim, with Amute in there and Love in there and Aboyo in there, UCLA needs to get this ball game played on the glass. Get down inside with it. The perimeter favors Memphis.
Double up on Rose. Ball squirts out to Dozier. Tipped out Collison. Bruins trying to make a little run. Fake the pull-up three. Aboyo inside. UCLA brings it within 5.
John Calipari calls the timeout. He wanted to foul on the other end, but his team just got out hustled.
50-45, the exact score. UCLA beat Memphis in a regional final 2 years ago. Sitting next to Billy Packer, Jim Nance here in San Antonio. Billy, coming up, it's been talked about all week. Roy Williams going against his old Kansas Jayhawk squad.
Well, two of the most storied programs in the history of basketball right there, Kansas and North Carolina. And interestingly, they've only played 8 times in the history of that. Dean Smith never wanted to play against Kansas. And of course, there's so many connections between those two teams in regard to coaches and star players.
Third time, though, they'll meet in the Final Four since '91. And again, improvising. It's Douglas Roberts.
Now, Love has not been out of this ball game in the second half. In a high-paced ball game, that's asking an awful lot of him to run this court at the pace Memphis wants to play. That's why I think hold the ball a little bit and get it to him down low.
Baseline, Aboyo's jumper back to the rim.
Love just not getting touches, Jim.
I think for a guy that's averaging 18 a game, they find a way to get him somehow a little more involved. While Rose handling it exclusively at this end. Crashing in, Dorsey puts it on the floor. Finds the outlet. Anderson, 3, no.
Dorsey getting good position.
It's going against UCLA. Not Dorsey over the back instead of Boya for pushing off.
Jim, Dorsey did a terrific job there, just playing position rebounding, not pushing with his hands. Goes up with 2 hands to get that rebound. That was great work on the offensive glass. His attitude has been so stellar here in the last month, showing great leadership.
Douglas Roberts.
Westbrook.
That's going to be 3 on Westbrook. The first Bruin to have a little serious issue. Today's your last chance to vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the tournament. At Pontiac.com/NCAA, a $100,000 scholarship is on the line, so vote. Douglas Roberts, who had quite a go of it in Houston at the free throw line in those 2 games, Billy.
Well, I have said since watching this team in midseason that I felt that they had good form on their free throw shooting as a team. They had no business being down under 60%. It was a matter of just a lack of concentration. But the last 10 champs have averaged over 70% free throw shooting. And remember, Connecticut in 04 was at 62%.
Memphis now 9 of 10 for the game at the line. Roberts, who made 25 free throws in the regional in Houston in 2 games.
Let's see if Collison, with that crossover dribble, can beat Rose. Gives it up quickly.
Love has made 1 basket in this half underneath. Bob Mute with a nice move.
Bob Mute is getting to be pretty active in this ball game offensively now, looking for his shots. A much better matchup size-wise for Chris Douglas Roberts.
That's Rose on Collison.
Just can't stop the young man, can they?
Now Collison,
too strong.
He has 3. 3 on Collison, 3 on Westbrook. Douglas Roberts has 21 to lead the way. Field goal percentages, Billy, about the same, but the backcourt scoring's the margin.
Yeah, that is huge right there. We're talking about 3 players on each team, but you can see that Memphis getting much better at that. And fast break points, and I mentioned earlier, UCLA on the year, 498 fast break points to their opponents, only got 185. Completely reversed here by Memphis, doing a good job getting on the break.
Some words exchanged between Dorsey and Love.
A pretty good piece of officiating right there. You don't want to call a foul on either one of those guys. Just talk it over and get moving.
And again, Collison and Westbrook now each with 3.
Look at how much better a matchup it is. Rose respects Westbrook, so he looks to get that ball to somebody else. Rozier's been shaky when he gets the ball on the perimeter.
Rozier
not down in here.
Yeah, trying to back in on Ship. Love comes over to help.
Surprised there was a double.
Rose works his way in to the lane. Spin with the left hand. No, gets a second chance underneath.
And Joey Dorsey's the one that kept that ball alive without committing the foul on the offensive glass. Good job that he's done since he's come back in here with 3 fouls. Jim, I realize he doesn't have a lot of points, but he's doing a good job moving that body.
A 9-point lead. They've had a good working margin the entire half.
UCLA just reluctant to figure out how to get the ball to Love down inside.
Collison, stutter step move. Mute follow, no. And Dozier says, it's mine.
There's that length again. I really do not understand why Love is not getting the touches. He only has 3 shots in his second half.
Lob, and it got away from Dorsey.
Remember Dorsey last year going up against Greg Oden in Ohio State, said it's going to be David Goliath, and I am Goliath. And, you know, everything didn't work out his way. He just lost the handle on that one. But I'll tell you, his attitude is so much better this year, showing outstanding leadership.
That was right here in the Alamo Dome.
Yes, it was.
Where their season ended last year in the regional final loss to Ohio State. One of their slogans all season long is remember the Alamo Dome. They wanted to end their season here again this year, but this time with a win on a Monday night.
Love sits down.
Westbrook inside, and that was well crafted by Ben Howland's team.
Love sits down right now, so UCLA is going to have to get their points from the 3 perimeter players that are out there. Ship is going to have to step up and start looking for some baskets.
17 for Westbrook. Here's Taggart back on the floor.
Great matchup here. He's showing some respect for Westbrook.
Anderson, tough shot, fading the other way.
Hey, Jim, if he's 6'2" as that other guard, he never even gets that off. But he's 6'6", and he plays big. Goes inside, not afraid to put it up. Boyo's not going to shoot out there. Ship has got to get open and look for some shots.
Westbrook's pass picked off by Dorsey. Snaps it up ahead to Douglas Roberts. Back over Anderson.
Nice idea.
Trailer Taggart gives it to the last man down the court, Rose. And that's a foul against Monterreal.
What a great decision by Anderson. He really didn't have any good shot. Realized UCLA had gotten back fairly well. Waited till he had something easy.
It'll be a 1-and-1 at the line. Monterreal with his first.
Jim,
Mute coming back in.
At 9:04, Ben Holland's got to be thinking about coming back in Love for one stretch drive here. You asked me earlier in the ballgame, are things starting to flow in a bad direction for UCLA? I'd say they are right now.
Dozier back in for Taggart.
Yep, Taggart hasn't gotten in any more foul trouble, nor has Dorsey.
Maybe Coach Howland trying to keep Love down until they get that under 8 break, the free timeout. 1-and-1, Douglas Roberts.
Here he comes right now.
Okay. Can't wait any longer.
No, we're on the same wavelength, and I think a great move by Ben Holland here. He's got to get some scoring power in there. Boyo is not going to give it to him. This young man's pretty cool on that foul line, isn't he, Jim?
I think he is
Really knows how to play.
everywhere on the court,
Yep.
actually. So just the second miss at the line on the night for the Tigers.
Dropped his arm a little bit on that one on his follow-through.
Can the Bruins come back from 10 down with 9 minutes left? There's Ship, passed up to 3. Driving in, kicking back out. Now Ship will take it from the corner.
Important shot.
Rattled out. He's down for a second, bounced out. No field goals for Ship since 3.5 minutes into the game. He hit those 2 early threes.
How about the knowledge of Rose right there? Realizing the break wasn't there, pulled it back out.
Rose. Monterreal says, let's go the other way.
The UCLA doesn't have to panic. There's plenty of time here, but they got to get touches to their big man.
Again, so much experience, especially here late in the year with these double-digit comebacks where they never did panic. So they've got vast experience with this.
Ship not looking to catch and shoot the jumper quickly. And there's
Charge on Collison, and that is number 4 on the Bruins point guard.
beautiful job by Dozier to move his feet.
Got the timeout under 8. Collison now in danger. Picks up his 4th right here, and Memphis by 10. Just 7:53 to go, and the margin is 10 for Memphis. Shutting down Darren Collison. Just collected foul number 4. Billy, he's only 1 out of 7 from the field tonight, is Collison, and 5 turnovers.
Jim, what's new in regard to small backcourt men against Memphis? Drew Neitzel was 2 for 8. Remember, those 2 came in about the last minute and 30 seconds. DJ Augustine, the All-American, 4 for 18 against Memphis. So you can see that these long, rangy Memphis defensive guards have really caused problems for smaller guards, even those that have quickness as Augustine and Collison have. Collison has to sit, probably stay out to the 5-minute mark.
Westbrook will have to handle it at the point. Keefe has come in to replace Collison on the floor. And Douglas Roberts again gets the shot off, and it's tipped out going to UCLA.
Now you take a look. This is probably a little better offensive club that UCLA has on the floor than they had when Aboyo was out there. But again, Love, with only 3 touches in this second half, has to get the ball.
Billy hasn't taken a shot since a 15-15 mark. That shot retrieved, and the basket counts.
Ship on a nice move inside, aggressively went to the basket.
So Love took the shot, his first attempt in almost 8 minutes. They kept the possession alive.
It's a good drive by Ship. Ship, as we know, has had all kinds of problems with those hips.
And he had 2 free throw attempts in the first half, both woeful. Now for the 3-point play to bring him within 7, and he gets it.
It's a pretty good offensive lineup that they have on the floor right now, and I'm talking about UCLA. Can they get the stops?
That foul was on Rose. He has 2.
Size-wise, the matchup's much better for UCLA. Collison out of the ball game.
Anderson cutting through. Tipped out to Dozier. Mute skying for that one. Now Westbrook, who has to handle it.
Nice patience, though, by Westbrook. And here's where it helped. When Collison was out, Westbrook had to have that point guard responsibility. And it showed right there.
Keefe with a 3 from the corner. Almost, but it's only Dorsey underneath.
Again, UCLA reluctant to go inside first and then go out.
UCLA 3 out of 10 from 3 in this game. Roberts.
Good block.
Not blocked. Mute with some big defensive plays.
John Calipari, good job of officiating on the side. He was the call.
He was going to make sure he got that call. Collison already back out. 6:22 to go.
I thought they might wait, Jim, to the 5-minute mark, particularly at 7 here, and they were doing a pretty good job with their matchups. Now, if you're Memphis, you don't want to become too patient here.
They've missed their last 5 from the floor. Rose.
Good block out by Love.
Dozier touched it last. It goes to UCLA. Well, if they could come down and hit a three, Keith had a chance to do it.
Well,
Suddenly the game would be 4.
One of the things that has cost Love a little bit, Dorsey has, with his incredible strength, has been able to work him down inside and put a lot of pressure on him. And of course, the pace of the ball game earlier made him run up and down the floor. So not as fresh as UCLA would like him to be.
6-minute mark. Down 7. Collison, big shot, 3, no.
Well, Keith got what he wanted. Collison got good look. Memphis not playing as tough a defense as I've seen them play.
Those were 2 good looks from behind the arc, and they misfired on both.
Well, the Texas players are probably saying, and Michigan State players, how come we didn't see some looks like that?
Memphis has not made a shot now in over 4 minutes, and that's a hand to the face. It'll be called on Chip. That's number 2 on Chip. Thursday on CBS, don't miss a riveting new episode of TV's most watched drama, CSI. It's Thursday at 9, 8 Central, only on CBS. We've got a one-on-one at the line with Douglas Roberts, who missed his last free throw, but it's 5 of 6 for the game.
Jim, much too early to think about it, but coaches around the country, when Memphis moved into number 1 in spot, were thinking about the hack-a-shack techniques to put them on that foul line. And since they've been shooting well in the NCAA tournament, it hasn't happened, but maybe, just maybe, that'll catch up with them here.
Of course, they were shooting well, Billy, when they had comfortable leads.
Right. Like
against Texas, when they made 18 free throws in the last 4 minutes, but really they were never in danger. Pressure-free. So a blown opportunity in the front end of that one-on-one.
They were 30 of 36 in that game, 87%.
Now Love will take the jumper. Maybe he's a little tired. The shot's coming up short, Billy.
I think so. And credit Dorsey for that, because he's been pushing him on both ends of the floor all night.
Been leaning on him all evening.
Yep.
Back door they go. Douglas Roberts dunks it down.
Terrific offensive set right there for Memphis. But you got to have a finisher to design a play like that.
UCLA had 3 consecutive empty trips. Down 7, and this time it's Mbamute keeping it alive, and a foul first.
The experience of Mbamute, Jim, is really showing this guy is a winner. And there was the backdoor cut. Perfect bounce executed. And then there's that finishing ability.
The other end, that's the 3rd foul on Rose. Dozier's coming in for Taggart.
Or is he? No, it's going to be Dorsey.
Dorsey now.
They're not sure. I don't think they're sure who's coming in.
It is going to be Taggart coming out.
Still plenty of time here.
Having a hard time getting it in. Oh, that was awful close.
Oh, Ben Holland almost got a timeout.
Ship. And that's going to Memphis.
Jim, when Ship shoots his shot, he's not staying with the follow-through. It's almost as if he anticipates it's not going in.
Bruins have just been really tight from the outside here in the late going.
Love just got a little piece of that ball. Boy, you feel comfortable if you're a Memphis fan when Rose has that ball in his hands. John Calipari wanting to work a little clock and make UCLA really have to run on defense. There's a big solid screen.
Dorsey got away. They got it to him on the blocks. Love defending and blocking. 2 on the shot clock. Douglas Roberts realizes it. Boy, that was right on line but long. Now Westbrook driving in on Rose. And Dorsey at the other end denies. Rose with the save back in bounds.
How about the big guy, Jim? Gets the ball blocked in one end. He is just playing really great team ball. Terrific hustle on his part. Had caused some problems for John Calipari in his career earlier, but he's showing leadership out there now.
Collison goes for the steal. Has to be careful with the 4 fouls. Rose
How did he
got
get
the
it off?
spin from right underneath the cylinder. They've now worked it back up to match their largest lead of the game. Collison inside. He was making that shot against A&M when they came back to win, but not this time. No field goal the last 4 minutes for the Bruins.
Now, Collison and Westbrook both trying to take things one-on-one. You don't want to be reaching against Rose.
Why would Collison do that?
That fouls out.
That's it for him. Yep. Why would he do that? Collison has fouled out. Darren Collison's been flustered all night long by the Memphis guards, and this is the same story again we saw in the Sweet 16 against Michigan State, and Neitzel against Texas, and Augustine in the regional final. And now Collison tonight, he has finished for the evening. 1 out of 9 from the field and 5 turnovers. The 2 points, a season low.
Jim, that size differential is so difficult against this Memphis team. This 3 backcourt players for Memphis all play long, and they're all 6'3" or better. A tough matchup for a guard in the 6-foot range.
We're in the double bonus the rest of the way for Memphis. I didn't understand that last foul on Collison. It was so far away from the basket, it was as if it was the last 30 seconds of the game in a desperation foul.
Yeah, he is a much more experienced player than to make a foul like that. His team needed him on the floor. You know, Collison, MVP of the Pac-10 tournament, had 28 points and no turnovers against Stanford, so a much better player than he showed tonight.
Westbrook, Love trying to get a handle on it. It's Keefe, and he's fouled on the way up.
That's Rose that reached in there in the foul.
Well, that'll be 4 on him.
Now, you're talking about 2:42 to go. John Calipari looking around right here.
Westbrook of UCLA is limping around out there on the floor. He's hurt.
No, Andre Allen is not available, but Al, what do you figure? Kemp?
Willie Kemp, who was their starter last year.
I'm surprised that John Calipari is going to keep Rose on the floor. I think his assistants are talking to him right now.
Keefe banks home the first free throw. And they take Dorsey out. Again, Taggart and Dorsey shuttling in and out.
Figure he called that bank?
I will know after this one. If he does it again, yes.
Young man was a McDonald's All-American, getting some playing time in the NCAA tournament. Full court pressure. Shaky pass.
They almost were able to get a hand on it. When will they start fouling Memphis? Making them earn it at the stripe again. We've got 2.5 to play.
Ooh, that was a dangerous pass. It's picked off. You going the other way.
Not the guy you'd want to put on the line, though, if you had to choose one.
If it touches anybody else, you got to go after him. They don't.
Dozier.
If you're Westbrook now, you might as well take that ball right to the hoop.
Pull up 3 instead.
That's a push by Keefe. Gets away with it.
Keefe has it taken away. Douglas Roberts will be shooting at the other end. Memphis fans are starting to celebrate.
Jim, think about this club from UCLA. 3 straight Final Four trips for Ben Holland. They run into Florida, the top team in the country 2 of the years, and then they run into Memphis that's playing extremely well right now. Great seasons. Look like the championship to be denied, though.
Their free throw percentage tonight, impressive. Again, 2 the rest of the way.
Good follow through there. And as I said, when you watch this club shoot in practice, you say it had to be just a lack of concentration.
Monterreal is going to come in for the UCLA Bruins. UCLA has missed its last 10 shots. They had life at 59-52. They had a couple of open looks from 3, but they've missed their last 10 shots over the last 5.5 minutes without a basket.
Well, Jim, you know what all this would also mean in history. There's Westbrook knowing he's got to put up some shots.
Chip. Tipped up, yes.
Memphis is 37-1 coming into this ball game. The history of college basketball, nobody's ever won 38 games. They're bordering on it right now.
It's about to happen, Billy. 90 seconds to go. Going to reach whole new territory. This will send Rose to the line. No team ever with 38 wins in a season in the history of college basketball.
Well, Duke won in 86 and 99. They won 37. UNLV won 37 and 87. Illinois, remember, had 37 wins playing against North Carolina in the championship game, but nobody has ever in the history of college basketball reached 38 wins in a season. John Calipari looks like he's got it.
You know, it's interesting, all those teams you just rattled off, none of them won the championship that year.
That's right.
2 for 2 by Rose.
Are you trying to tell me something about Monday?
No, not at all. I'm not selling this team short at any time.
After what we saw last weekend, neither one of us going to sell this team short.
Westbrook drives for the 2 and a timeout, UCLA. 71-58. Memphis again manhandling the opponent. Just a minute, 16 seconds to go, and a 13-point advantage for Memphis, with Kansas and North Carolina to take the floor shortly after this one. There's Ben Howland, who played in 2 NCAA tournaments at Weber State and actually had a win. They ended up getting knocked out both years by the same team. Arkansas ended his NCAA tournament hopes as a player at Weber State. He was a great defender, a stopper for Coach Neil McCarthy, and his assignment was the same both years against the Razorbacks. Some guy named Sidney Moncrief.
Yeah, and he said he wasn't quite a stopper against Sidney Moncrief. You know, that was interesting that year in 1979 when he got knocked out by Arkansas. I followed Arkansas the rest of the way against the great Indiana State team, and Sidney Moncrief and Larry Bird played in that great regional final in Cincinnati. With Bob Heaton off a pass from Bird ended Sidney Moncrief's incredible career at Arkansas. They had gone to the Final Four the year before, remember, with Eddie Sutton and the outstanding team they had.
You didn't even realize it till yesterday at the shoot-around when we visited with Coach Howland that you had seen him play.
That's right. That's right. I'll have to admit.
How memorable he was.
Well, let's not knock him
he
down
was
there.
two-time Defender of the Year for the Weber State Wildcats. Westbrook, dish, Bob Mute, and another timeout by the Bruins.
You know, when you
just trading points now, though, we just have a little more than a minute to play before we move Memphis in the brackets to Monday night. How would you rate this performance, Billy, by Memphis?
Excellent, Jim, and we said at the top of the show, something had to give. UCLA is a team that held its opponents to 58 points a game. Memphis, a team that scored 80. When you look up at the scoreboard right now, it was Memphis' game, the way they wanted to play. In Ben Holland's 5 years, 66 opponents have been held under 60 points, and he's 64-2 in those games. Obviously, wasn't able to do it here.
He's going to send Douglas Roberts back the other way. And the other story in this half, not only Collison, again, tormented all evening long, but Kevin Love been shut down in the second half. Just one put-back basket, that's it.
Well, from a strategic standpoint, if you're UCLA and you go look at the tape of this game, you've got Dorsey with 3 fouls on him. You have Taggart with 3 fouls on him. Love never gets touches in the second half in the low post. I think that's what cost UCLA this game. They never got an opportunity to play the game half court at a time, with Love getting a lot of touches and opportunities, and maybe additional fouls put on the 2 big men for Memphis.
Ready for this? Memphis has now hit its last 10 free throws.
You know, their problem was between the ears, Jim, not with holding the ball and following through. They're locked in now.
Got them both. Westbrook, that's swatted away by Dozier.
Yeah, Dozier just waiting on him. And UCLA's not going to foul now. Ben Holland's going to let this game go.
3 straight Final Fours for UCLA, but no championships brought back home.
They'll be back.
Could very well be back again next year.
As we said, John Wooden took 15 years to win that first Final Four. I don't think it'll take Ben Holland that long.
The Memphis team, so Anderson banks home a 3. Good night, UCLA. A Memphis team really underappreciated by so many all season long, even though they achieved #1. They won all of those games to start the year before a loss to Tennessee in late February.
And I'll say that Tennessee loss, Jim, really helped this ball club because it got them focused back in.
Another magnificent Memphis performance We'll see you Monday night for the national championship game.